Mr. President, I would like to thank the senior senator from Utah who is retiring at the end of Congress. Senator Hatch has faithfully served the public for 40 years in the U.S. Senate, constantly using the interface of public policy and the free market to find the best outcome for the American citizen. If the responsibility of Congress is to pass legislation that improves the lives of Americans, Senator Hatch has met this responsibility. As two examples of how, when I was a doctor before entering politics, treating patients, Senator Hatch helped me take better care of my patients, let me give these. The Hatch-Waxman Act leveraged the free market to increase the availability of generic drugs, more affordable medicines. And the second example I will give, the 1997 Balanced Budget Act creating the Children's Health Insurance Program, also known as CHIP, which gave greater access to health care for Americans in need. That benefited me as a doctor taking care of my patients. As a senator, it was an honor to work with him this past year to reauthorize the CHIP program and to continue efforts to make prescription drugs more affordable. On a personal note, shortly after joining the Finance Committee, Chairman Hatch sent me a letter welcoming to the committee and making his office available to help in any way his office could. Now, if there is a defining characteristic of Senator Hatch, is that he listens. Whether fellow senators, the people of Utah, or the people of the United States, Senator Hatch listens and works to find a mutually beneficial outcome. This happened when the federal government came after a company in Prairieville, Louisiana, the Volks Construction Company, for a record violation occurring well beyond the government's legal authority. The District of Columbia Circuit Court of Appeals stepped in, unanimously ruled to stop the government overreach, but the Obama administration issued a rule to permit the practice despite the D.C. Circuit Court ruling. Knowing that this was an important issue for companies in my state, as well as in the rest of the country, Chairman Hatch worked with me to lead legislation to permanently protect businesses from this kind of government abuse of power. Again, using the free market or protecting the free market from government abuse. Another example I'll give will be during tax reform when Senator Hatch listened to colleagues' concerns and ideas about how to improve the Tax Cut and Jobs Act bill to give our company the tools to succeed. The final product was better for it. He worked with me to strengthen and preserve the historic tax credit, which is instrumental in over 780 restoration projects in Louisiana. When you go to New Orleans and see all these old buildings now shining once again in glory, probably helped by the historic tax credit, leveraging $2.5 billion in private investment, creating over 38,000 jobs in Louisiana alone. Again, marrying, if you will, the free market with public policy. The last issue that I will mention of the many that I could is the following. Since first elected, Senator Hatch has worked to help Americans in their retirement years by increasing access to various types of retirement savings plans to ensure that the widest range of people save for their future. His legislation gave businesses, particularly smaller businesses, the tools needed to offer retirement plans to workers at the lowest possible cost, leveraging the interface of government policy with the market to improve the lives of many in their retirement. In his tenure, he pushed for sound solutions to the pension issues facing state and local governments. Again, using the interface between government policy and the market to lower the cost of medications, to increase access to health care. He promoted the use of sound policy to allow the American economy to thrive. It is this work that those of us who remain in Congress must now pick up and continue. Scripture says that the greatest among you shall be your servant. We've been blessed to have had Senator Hatch's wisdom and leadership in the Senate. We've been blessed to have his wisdom and leadership for our country, and we thank him for his great service to the people of Utah, to the people of Louisiana, to all Americans. Thank you, Mr. President, and I yield the floor.
Mr. President.
Senator from Utah.
I'm grateful to my colleagues, and especially my colleague from Louisiana, for his kind remarks on the floor of the United States Senate.